Hi guys, hope you're well. Influencer or marketer? My opinion, marketer. Influencers and marketers come hand in hand, but I think influencers kind of have the upper edge because influencers are more than just marketers. They do so much in such a small amount of time and with a very, very small amount of budget at times. They have incredible talents of keeping up with ever-changing trends, or ever-changing platform changes, or ever-changing culture changes. They have the ability to apply that into their influencer brand videos, and they have the ability to kind of do incredible ads for brands which are so creative oftentimes, and so on point, which essentially means a great understanding of how their audience, a great understanding of the kind of population in general that are sitting on that social media platform, and a really good understanding of their demographic, a really good understanding of the way they speak, the way that they are, just everything. They kind of condense everything into one piece or one asset, which is really, really amazing, and also hits all of the brand guidelines and all of the brand kind of cues and everything that needs to be covered. And I think that's what's really amazing about influencers. Influencers do all of this, but in a tiny amount of time. Whereas marketers have like months and weeks and so much time to be able to do something and put something together with a whole team of experts. Oftentimes, influencers will just work by themselves. So they have one person, which is themselves, and they'll do all of this incredible work in just one go. They'll take hours and hours and hours and hours and put so much time into things and do it to such an incredible standard. And then oftentimes you'll hear brands say, it's not quite good. But without actually realizing the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of thought, the amount of care and love that has gone into something, without even thinking about it, just because maybe there might have been a slight error or something. Whilst I do understand that brands obviously have particular guidelines and particular things that are really super important, like for example, when it comes to like brand safety, they can't obviously have, like, for example, people who are swearing in it or something that might be harmful to the audience or something which is completely wrong. So that I completely understand. But it's more about the fact that when there's nothing really to say or nothing really important that needs to be changed, and then brands will nitpick. And I think that is where brands really need to kind of take a step back and really understand the amount of effort and amount of thought and amount of creativity and care that's gone into something, and really kind of appreciate that in a huge way. So if you think about a normal brand campaign, so sort of, say for example, I've got a new deodorant that I need to now market. If I want to take it to market, I've got a whole, I'd say roughly about 6 months. This is just from the kind of timings I had when I used to work at brand as well. Roughly about 6 months there, and normally they have like a 3-year plan anyway, so you kind of know what's coming up and you kind of know the products as well. So you've got 6 months to do all of this brand marketing, huge campaign, etc. Although you may argue that, okay, yeah, it's one piece of content within like an entire like campaign or things like that, it's still an asset. And if you think about how long an asset normally takes to create, and the amount of experts that are behind it, and the amount of eyes that get to see it, and the amount of people that give their own opinions and like with strategize and things, so many things that are in place, it then becomes a lot different. So just think about strategizing, like creating an idea or storyboarding, and then also creating, editing, and approving, all within maybe like a week or 2 weeks. That is mind-blowing. And that normally would take a lot longer if you're working as a brand. So when you think about all the work that influencers are doing, really kind of just appreciate the tiniest things. So it might be a YouTube video that they've created, and just be aware of like just how much work has gone into each step. And I think that will really help, definitely.